Hi, Lisa. Hi, honey. How are you? Oh, shit. How are you? How was your day today? Welcome in, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm doing great. Today's a good day. Today was a good day. I'm going home tomorrow. Had a birthday party. Well, that's good. You got out of the house. Had a little adult time, maybe. Thank you for my heart me. Thank you, thank you. I can't tell. This light is like, it's so blinding. Hi, Tracey. Oh, your niece? Is she younger? Is she older? My little ones took forever to go to sleep tonight, Tracey. Hi, honey. So I'm just going to try and get some people. I just went live. I just want to get some people in here and see who's coming. 23. Ooh. My son's 23. Let me get some people in here. With the whole algorithm thing and the transfer over, my lives have been like hit or miss. Yeah, let's just see if we can get some people. She's pregnant. Oh, March what? Waleed, welcome. Share me out, repost it. First baby, a girl. Girls are fun. 27th? Yeah, yours too. Ever since like the transfer, ever since like we transferred over, it's been like my videos, Dixie, hi. Everyone will start popping in. At least my community. Can we tap me? Can we keep tapping? If we can get to 50K tonight, guys, I'll give a free hi honey. How about 75? If we get to 75K tonight, I'll do a mini one-on-one. Showing everyone repost, share me out. Let's get this party started. Tracey's already here. She's ready to go. I didn't realize we were doing this on a full moon. So cool. You guys are going to love her. Ooh, I just saw 369. How everybody ready for the week? Tomorrow's Monday and there's still no school again. Oh, my Lord. Are you looking forward to it? As soon as Tuesday hits up, my kids have been home since Thursday. I'm in New York too, Tracey. It's too cold, I know. Kevin, welcome in. I know you're not in New York anymore, but that's where I'm from, upstate New York. Where is everybody? Where is everybody? We might just start. Hi, Kevin. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you? So we're doing... She does? Are you from upstate? Well, I'll bring you up. I'm not going to ask you any questions. All right, let me just get to my questions that I have for you. Let's bring that up. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Kevin. I mean, you can still answer, Tracey. Sorry. Glad to hear that. Where are you from, Kevin? Anybody watch the Grammys? Polly, hi, honey. We started watching them a little bit. What the hell? Oh, there it is. I was born in New York and lived on Long Island. Oh, okay. Nice. We're getting slammed, hammered with snow right now. I thought we were going to miss it. It's been coming later and later every year. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We're going to have Tracey come up here in a couple minutes. Oh, Kevin. I thought you changed your picture. I'm like, wait, is that Kevin? Yes. Hi, honey. Sorry. I knew that. Hi, Lane. Hi, guys. All right. I think, yeah, we're getting slammed. The last full moon. I know. It's a full moon. Time to release and call in. It's time to plant those seeds. It's February 1st. I hope everybody blew some cinnamon in their tour. In their tour. Hi, Cynthia. Welcome in. I'm going to bring you up in like 2K likes. Okay, Tracey. Let's just see if we can get... I wanted to fill the house up for you, but TikTok had other plans. Hi, honey. I'm sorry, Kevin. Sometimes it's just a sign to be solo dolo. January, I think, was the longest month ever. It was like Groundhog's Day. They're asleep. Yeah, it's okay. It is what it is. But we're going to be streaming this all over the place, so. We'll still have a good time. People will start trickling in. All right, I'm going to bring you up now. So everyone, you slept through it. I'm going to bring up Tracey right now. She is our guest tonight on Awaken Light, the Healing Sanctuary. We're going to do a little interview with her. I first saw her on my FYP. Hi, girl.
Hey, let me just turn on my camera here.
Okay, yeah. So I came across her on my FYP. Hi. And I jumped in her room immediately because she was such a light, such a bright light. I think she was battling at the time. This was a while ago. It was a while ago, and just so bright. Your light was just so bright. And sometimes when I go at that time, I had a different name and I had like a spiritual name. So sometimes when I go into like spiritual people, they block me immediately because they think that I'm going to take their people or I'm like a scammer or something,
For sure.
But you were so welcoming and you were so warm and we chatted for a little bit and you followed me back right away. I love your vibe, girl. I love your vibe.
Thank you. I love yours too.
Thank you. Thank you. So make sure everybody picks her up. So I don't know if I gave you a little briefing on like why I do this. My community is a lot of newly awakened. I have some that are OGs, so I kind of have a mixture, but I had to take some time off. I was going through an awakening and another rebirth, and energy was, I was going through a massive shift. So I took some time off and I felt like I left them hanging. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't be there. So I started this to try and put some more people in front of their faces. So that way, not only did they hear my journey, they could hear your journey. Everybody else is different. Do you know what I mean? And not everyone can relate to everything that I'm saying. So I thought I'd bring them more people, spread the wealth, and, try and just get us all out there, Yeah.
No, I think that's great that you're doing it because, we can expand our reach. And also, like you said, some people have different experiences that might apply.
Yes. And I could say something and you say the exact same thing in different words and it'll click, Exactly. It's all about like our perception. Okay, I dropped you. Okay, so for anyone here for the first time meeting you or seeing you, how do you usually describe who you are now beyond the titles, writer, mentor, spiritualist? How would you describe yourself? Introduce yourself.
Yes. So hi, everybody. I'm Tracey. So without using things like writer, mentor, coach, or whatever, I will say I'm a very emotionally intelligent warrior spirit.
Love that. I love that. I use that word all the time.
Yeah, I've been through quite a lot, but I think that's where I found my greatest strength, because when things got really, really dark, that's when I finally saw my light.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I love that. Yes, yes. Okay. So, like we said, you lived in New York and now you call the Pacific Northwest your home, right? How did that physical move mirror an inner shift inside of you?
Yeah, so I originally moved from New York to California when I was young, and then from California up to the Pacific Northwest. And I think for me, Southern California, loved it, but it never felt as vibrant as where I grew up in New York.
Mm.
And when I came up to visit a friend in Seattle, I stepped off the plane and I remember just like taking this deep breath and going, oh my gosh. And it just felt like home.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I got to move up here because it just felt like I could breathe, like spiritually,
Yeah.
physically, and everything else. And so I think that was, and right after I moved is when I ended up getting cancer.
Oh, wow.
So it's these things all happen at the times that they're supposed to,
Supposed
with the
to.
right doctors and everything else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And we're on a ley line here where I am. I'm in Buffalo, New York.
Hmm.
And I think where you are too, that might be why the air was a little different for you too, because
Maybe.
I think on that side, there's a lot of ley lines out there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the dark and the light and grief, loss, transformation, all that good stuff. Losing both parents is completely, totally life altering. I can only imagine. How did grief change the way you see connection with people, with spirit, and with yourself?
Yeah, I think that grief ended up showing me to how precious every single moment is with people. And when I lost my mom, it was at the same time that I lost my job and I got cancer all within a 4-month period.
Oh, man.
And so it totally made me look at everything different. And it really made me take stock of my life, like what's really important. And you start to realize that a lot of the things that we let clutter up our lives are not really that important. Not really, right? And when you're faced with that type of a situation, and I think that grief really helped me open up as a writer and explore writing professionally, and made me take that step. And I think if I hadn't gone through those things, I wouldn't have been able to emotionally connect as much with my readers.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Agreed. Okay, so during your own battles with cancer, what surprised you most about yourself emotionally or spiritually?
I think I remember when it happened, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? And it was an extremely rare form of cancer, too. There was only about 120 cases in the US a year.
Wow. What kind of cancer did you have?
Leiomyosarcoma.
Oh, wow.
And I was given a 50% chance to survive. So they pretty much told me, good luck. There's been a small study that was done at Sloan Kettering. Here you go, type of a thing. I was just
Oh
like,
my God.
and I was blessed. I had a really bad oncologist. Let's put it that way. But I had a wonderful surgeon for the first time, and he took me under his wing. That never happens. And he told me, he's like, "We're going to take care of you." And I was like, "Okay." And I said, "I'm going to be the 50% that survives. I just have to believe that." And so I just, it just really made me look at everything, and I realized, what am I going to regret if I die tomorrow? Because I didn't know if I was going to survive. And it's come back a few times. And I thought, I'm going to really regret not pursuing my dream of being published and having a book. I don't even know if I'm going to be alive to see it published, but I have to see whether or not I can write one. And that really, so out of all that darkness came now the thing that lights me up.
That's beautiful. I love that. Okay. Was there a moment where you realized survival wasn't just about living, but about meaning?
Yeah, I think it was really interesting because when I got cancer and then survived it, and when it came back and everything, I had so many people that were just so impressed by my positivity and my willingness not to give up. And I was seeing how I was inspiring people just by being me. and not necessarily doing anything, and specifically just showing them that you don't give up. You
Right.
don't give up. And so I think through that, through the initial like, oh my God, I got to survive, then it was like, oh my gosh, I have to thrive.
Yes.
I really have to thrive, because otherwise, why am I here? Why did I survive over and over again to just get by?
Right. Agreed. So did you awaken before you were diagnosed? Did you start your spiritual journey before this, or did it happen like middle in between? When did that happen?
So I had always felt like I had a connection to spirit and source and that type of thing, but I suppressed it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, 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 it's just my intuition. Oh no, it's just, I always explained it away. And then after everything happened with cancer, I just started really embracing more of who I was, the fact that my positivity actually helped me survive and other things like that. And then as I started exploring more and more things would come in. And then I was like, oh, I did some energy work with a coach that really freed me up. I got my first guides, and I was like, oh my gosh, like
Right.
so exciting. You're like, ah! You feel like you showed up at school and it's all your buddies.
Right.
Like, hey, we've been waiting for you to wake up. Hello.
So for the first time, I heard runner chaser dynamic on one of my podcasts. I had someone else on here, and that was so you ran for a little while, I'm assuming, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I don't want to do it.
You're right.
And then the universe is like, excuse me.
Right. And they sat your ass down. That's what happened.
Sit your ass down. We got to talk
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah. It's time. Okay. So you say like your storytelling is medicine, right? So you often explore connection through your story or through story. When did writing stop being something you did and start becoming something that you held?
I think once I realized that, I always thought that I could write, but it wasn't until I got cancer I went, I got to pursue it. And then I went, I don't even know if I'm any good. What if I'm not good? My family and friends love it, but what if I'm not? And I took my first writing class ever. And I remember when I read something and people were like, oh my gosh, I just got so moved. And I went, and all of a sudden I went, oh my gosh, it's not just like the words I put down to entertain my friends in the past. This is actually something that could affect people emotionally and change the way that they look at things. And it was just such a great realization. I went, I've got to pursue this. I've got to really try this, because I know that people need to hear my voice.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Love that. So do you believe stories choose us as much as we choose them? And has that been true in your own work?
I think it's both, for sure. I think that oftentimes, and I think writers feel this way in general, is that when we write, we're working through our own issues. Our own issues usually come up in what we're writing, or things we want to explore. Like, I couldn't have written my first ever book, and it's not the one that I got published, it's my first ever one I got an agent with. I couldn't have written that without losing my mom,
True.
because the gravitas that I was able to put into it.
Right.
And so I think that sometimes the stories choose us that need to come out. And other times we choose the stories because we need to get it out,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. I just wrote my first one. It's not out yet, though.
Yay!
So I love talking about this because I'm not an author. I'm not.
Yeah.
Spirit just said, write the book, write the book, write the book. Like for 2 years, write the book, write the book. And I'm like, what do you want me to write about? So finally I just did it. But well, and like you said, it's kind of like it's your own, you know what I mean? But you hope that it helps somebody. So hopefully it'll be out coming probably beginning of the spring. So
Oh, yay! Good for you.
I know.
Yeah, keep me posted.
Yeah, I will for sure. And then when I read your like bio that you sent me, I was like, man, I wish I would have known this like way back when. I would have reached out to you. I didn't even know.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hold on, I lost my spot. Sorry. Okay. How has grief shaped the kinds of stories you're drawn to tell now versus earlier in your life?
I think that grief shaped my stories into becoming more meaningful. Because I think that the more, like, no, I always say no experience is ever wasted on a writer. Even the awful, awful ones, even at moments where I've been sobbing and, mucus is just running down my face. And I'm like, remember this moment, remember this feeling, what's going on in my body, what's going on, so that I can actually write it effectively. So I think that grief actually shaped my stories into becoming more, I think, rich than they were before. And I think that the more things that you go through in your life, the more comes out in your stories to make them more complex and more meaningful for people because you have more things to share.
Yeah, I agree. I love how you said that though, because I teach like this. I teach journaling. I preach journaling. I tell everybody to write, get it all out. And especially when you're in that state, when like you're just a mess.
Yeah.
I love how you said that. I've never really heard that, is like to write or remember what you're feeling in your body, because that right there is so important. So important. I love that. That's a good teaching moment. What do you think readers are really looking for when they connect deeply with a story? Is it escape, truth, permission, healing? So what is, like, if you were able to promote yourself in your books, what would promote yourself? Like, what is it most important that you write about, or what you want your reader to hear?
Yeah. So I think so I have two different things that I've been discovering. So with my trilogy that I have out, which is like paranormal, mystery, thriller, kind of fun fantasy stuff, there's still the deeper themes of the power of friendship and the power of accepting yourself, both light and dark. And, where there's love, there's hope. And there's those type of like themes. So I can never write fluff.
Right.
I tried. I cannot write fluff. It's always going to have something deep. So I've had people cry in the spots in my stories where I've cried writing. And everybody's come away with different things. Some people are like, oh my God, I just, when I read your book, I thought about my friend who had died, because I have ghosts in my book and stuff. Or when I did this, I thought about this. And then with my short story, so my first ever short story won an award, and I just entered another contest right now. And those are, they have these things that people are now calling Tracey truths.
Oh, I love that.
And they're these like nuggets. So my one that won, the whole thing about that is, if you can see with hope, you can actually see things differently. If you choose to see that way. And then this other one I just wrote was that the power of words is not in the words themselves, it's in your belief.
Amen.
And if you don't believe what you're saying, nobody's going to believe who's listening.
Yes.
And then one of my other themes is you have to accept not only the painful times in order to remember the beauty, because they're often entwined.
They are so true.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's been really interesting to be able to do like a trilogy with like some basic themes, and then to use short stories to like really hammer in these moments that make people cry.
Yeah.
That's the best thing. I love making people cry.
You do? I love that. Crying is good. Crying is perfect. You need to. Everyone does. I'm like, same. Okay. Your journey. Okay, let's talk about a little spiritual thread here. Your journey weaves spirituality and creativity together. How do those two parts of you speak to each other?
Yeah. So I think with the spirituality and the creativity, I think because I'm more open now, more things are coming through. So I get a lot more things and story ideas through dreams. I've had a few that I've written down where I'm like, oh my God, these are going to be epic. Write them down. And I know they didn't just come from.
Right.
Yeah. Right. But, when you're more open, these things start coming in. Yeah. And I think that, that's been really amazing. And, also too, I think that your creativity can only expand as your spirituality expands, because there's so much more than that you can bring into it.
Agreed. Have you had moments where writing felt guided? Well, you just said that, like you were receiving rather than creating. We just said that. So yes, you have.
Yeah, yeah.
How
Sometimes I
had
get these like downloads. I was trying to figure out something with one of my books, and I'm washing dishes. I'm like washing dishes, and all of a sudden I got this download. I was like, oh my god, wait, hold on, trap
yeah.
fans.
It's so weird, right? Isn't it like when we're doing human things? It's like when we're always doing human things, shower,
Right.
vacuuming, literally. Yes, and you have nothing to write down.
I know you're like, remember it, remember it,
Right.
remember it.
Right. I've learned to take my phone with me and have my notes open just in case because I sometimes when you get the downloads, right, they're like in and then they're out. You have to get them down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so how has loss opened you to a deeper understanding of connection beyond the physical world?
I think because I've never really felt like my parents are gone, from like they're actually my part of my guides and part of my team. And I always feel that the fact of me wondering about like where are they right now? What does that look like? What does where we go next? What does that look like? And when I wrote Entwine, um, the title is actually the realm that I created that is between the land of the living and where we go beyond, because I feel like the living and the dead, we're still entwined. We're
Yes.
still a part of
Agreed.
each other.
Yep.
And so thinking about that in the loss, thought about like, well, what does that look like? And so I was able to create something that's just like my version of it. And so it was kind of fascinating because I was like, I really like the fact that people aren't gone when they leave, that they can
Yeah.
still be for us.
I believe that too. I feel like we're all on the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about your mentorship and your purpose. Okay. So you mentor and coach other writers. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you notice is the biggest block holding people back from telling their stories? Because I feel like everybody should tell their story. Everybody has a story. It doesn't matter if you have a platform or friends, like your story can change one person's life. Everybody needs to speak. So why do you think people don't talk more about it?
Yeah, so that's a great question. What I've found from people and what I've been able to help them with is many times they feel that their story is not worth telling because there are other people who have suffered worse.
Mm.
So if somebody's gone through a divorce and they know that, like, how many people have gone through divorces, why is their divorce anything to talk about? If they've gone through cancer and they know other people have gone through awful cancer, why is their journey more important? And they tend to get into this thing of, if I go out and I write my book and I say this thing, I'm saying that my experience is more horrifying or better or whatever than other people. And I don't want to say that because I don't feel that. I feel that, and they get in their head a lot of times that nobody's going to care because a lot of people have gone through that type of stuff and
Right.
they have nothing new to say. But what I try to tell them is that everybody's viewpoint with what they've gone through is going to be different because everybody has different experience levels. So you can get two people that have been diagnosed with cancer, two people who got divorced, and they have completely different messages and lessons that they learned.
Yeah. Agreed.
Mhm.
Okay. So do you believe that stories can carry energy?
Yeah, yeah, I really do because it's amazing. Like when I write something and I go, oh my God, like I feel it in there. I was like, like the short story that won the award, it didn't win the contest I entered it in. And I went, but there's something about this story. I'm like, it's got energy. And so the next contest I entered, I won, and that's how I got a literary agent.
Wow.
So it's like, if she hadn't judged it, if I hadn't entered it, if it hadn't moved her, I mean, there's all
Yeah,
these things that
there's
happen.
things that happen.
Energy in
Yeah.
that story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Um, so do you have to, or how do you protect yourself emotionally when writing from deep places? Or do you just let it flow?
I usually let it flow because that's when I tap in. When I write, if I start crying, I know that I'm really tapping in to something that's going to affect people. And so when I'm writing, I don't protect myself. I just write, I let it come out. I let all the raw emotion come out. And then afterwards, I kind of like, reset my aura and really kind of, ground myself and that type of thing to kind of go, all right.
Yeah.
And just kind of get myself back in. But I feel that if I don't open myself up completely, then it doesn't really come out on the page for me.
Yeah. So it's almost kind of like you're channeling, like,
Yeah. Oh, Mina, hi. I'm sorry. Can I say hi to my friend?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. So what drew you to mentor like other writers? What let's talk a little bit about like your service and purpose. What
Yeah.
like brought you here?
Well, I think once I published, because I always love to help people. That's always been me. But I didn't feel like I had any right to do it until I published. I was like, yeah, I'm a writer. I'll help you. And I'm like, I have like nothing, right? But once I published, I was like, okay, I really want to help other writers because I know how hard it is. But then I have to tell you, I went through the thing that everybody goes through. I had a little bit of that imposter syndrome.
Oh yeah.
And I went, who am I to teach anybody about writing? There's all these writing teachers, there's all these writing coaches, there's people making millions and millions of dollars. Like, who am I? And I had to like sit down and go, well, what do I give and what do I bring to it? And one of the things that my clients have told me, and some of them just book with me because they like my energy.
Your energy is amazing.
I'm just like, even though it's like writing guidance I'm giving, they're like, we just want to book because we need it. We need that energy because it gets us going. Mm-hmm. And so I think one of the things that's so rewarding for me is when I see people that don't have to go through some of the things that I went through when I first started out, people that actually realize that that they're going to be brave enough. They're going to be brave enough because someone believes in them and they're going to tell their story and they're going to get it out there because it's something they need to say. And so it's just really, it just fills me up. It fills my cup when other people can take that. And I always have this picture of I'm standing in a dark field and I have this like blazing torch and I touch it into the darkness and it lights somebody else's torch. And then I touch somebody else and it lights somebody else's torch and it circles me. And then they turn away from me and they reach out into the darkness. And they light somebody else's torch.
I got chills. I love
right?
That. Yes.
And that's what I would love my legacy to be.
Yes.
Shedding the light out and helping other people help other people so that they can have more kindness and more support and more compassion in their life.
I love that. Total chills. I even got little like
I know, I got chills when I said it again.
I got like little tickles on my scalp. I love that. Okay. So let's talk about like the dark and the self-doubt and all that stuff. So how do you help someone move through that self-doubt without having to push them? Because, you're a teacher, mentor, writer, you know what I mean? Then you're in this class, right?
Yeah. I think one of the things I try to do is I try to disarm their little personal tapes that are going on in their head. So when they'll say something like, I'm I don't have enough experience to do X, Y, and Z. And then I'm like, oh, okay. So really, and then I start like going, so, well, what do you have? What, as we start going through it, they're like, oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Or they'll, I don't have time. And I'm like, oh, really? And we start going through and they're like, oh, okay. So like with the logic in there, then they're like, yeah, you're right. And so that usually helps them because, you can only push people so far, right? Agreed. So they have to actually have the impetus to do it. So I try to do that.
Agreed. That's a good way, though. That's good.
Yeah.
What's the difference between teaching craft and holding space?
I think sometimes, and you hit the nail on the head with the holding space thing, is sometimes people don't need me to teach them something. They need me to be there for them so that they can explore and figure out what they want to do, what they're feeling, what they want to write. Are they making the right decision? And sometimes it's just being able to be that that sounding board for them and to be able to be that listener. Because you know how important it is when somebody listens to you. We don't have that enough in our world anymore. People are always so moving on to the next thing, and they're not always present for somebody else. And I find that holding space can be almost just as valuable as teaching craft, because I think both of them go hand in hand in order to help somebody to actually feel brave enough
To do it.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay, let's talk a little bit about your spiritual awakening and and how you opened. So before the loss and the illness, you said that, how would you have described the relationship with spirituality? Like, did you how were you raised? Were you Catholic? Were you religious? Was it hard for you to get into the spirituality? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I was raised Catholic, but then my mom was really like a lapsed Catholic, but she just raised us for a little bit of time. She's like, if you can stay in church or you can not. And I believe in God, but I wasn't sure I believed necessarily in organized religion. So I was like, I don't know, nothing wrong with it, but I don't know what I believe. And so I never had like an issue with the spirituality part, but it wasn't until I go to a ghost conference here locally. And I was going through a investigation with a parapsychologist who I really respect and a psychic medium. And we went through the most haunted house in Port Gamble, Walker Ames house. And I touched a light sconce because I was drawn to it. And I had this like rush of emotion of like super like happiness, elation, and then immediately like this despair. And I started sobbing and I went, oh my God, what is this? And I went through the house and touched different things and wrote my notes. And when we compared later, other people felt the same thing I did in those places. And I went, oh my gosh, can I do that? Wait, what happened? Wait. And then I realized it was psychometry, which I didn't even know much about. And I haven't like really explored it, but I pick up things from touching objects. And so I was picking up the emotions of what had happened in that room. And that when other people validated it, that's when I went, oh, okay.
You're tapped in. I'm tapped in.
I'm tapped in. And I know the universe was like, okay, she's still not listening.
Right.
We had her go through cancer, right? She's still not listening. Let's hit her up with this.
I know. Sometimes I'm like, okay, can you please say it so a fifth grader can understand, because I cannot read between the freaking lines. Right?
I know. Can you spell it out for me? And they're like, okay.
Is that clear enough, Anita? Was there a moment where something shifted internally and you realized you were being guided rather than just enduring? How about like in your spirit guides? I don't know if you remember the first time. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it was really interesting because I think when I first went and did the energy work and I met my first spirit guide and stuff, and she's like, I've been with you this whole time. I was like, what? And it was just and it was interesting. And she took me back to moments of my childhood and she was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hills again.
I know. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And so it was really interesting because then I realized that she'd just been kind of waiting for me to wake up and realize that there's so much more for me to do in this life, that, I've survived as much as I have because I'm meant to do more. And they just needed me to finally see it.
Yeah, yes. Oh, I love that. That hasn't happened yet for me. But did grief or cancer crack you open spiritually in ways nothing else could have?
Yeah, I think probably the cancer mostly, because everybody goes through grief in different ways. But I think, when I got it the first time, and then I thought, okay, I've survived it, and then 2 years later, it came back in my lungs, and I thought, oh my gosh, okay. And then a year after that, it came back by my rectum, and I thought, oh my God, what if it just keeps coming back every year until I die? And it just made me go, oh, I've got to live as much as I can because I don't know if I'm going to be here.
Right. Wow.
And it really it didn't crack me open spiritually until the ghost conference, but it cracked me open emotionally to go, I have to pursue my joy, because if I don't and I died tomorrow, I would regret so much. So I've got to at least try, even if I don't get there, I've got to at least try.
Right. So how long have you been in remission now then?
Well, it's interesting because I ended up having it come back right before COVID hit.
Wow.
So just a little guy that had been watching in my lung.
Uh-huh.
And I went in, I just decided to get it out. And I remember when I met with my lung surgeon, and it was a really nice guy. And he looked at me and he said, he said, I just have to tell you something. He says, as surgeons, we see people with your type of cancer and they don't make it. And he said, please keep doing what you're doing. He says, because you give us hope and we'll keep
Oh,
fighting. And I was just like,
I feel like I want to cry.
and I was just like, I couldn't believe like this surgeon was telling me this. And I was like, okay, I'll keep
You're
fighting,
welcome.
you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I had that happen. And then I had a completely different type of cancer. Just a couple years ago, a little tumor on the base of my tongue. I know. And so I even did genetic testing. I'm not genetically predisposed or anything else like that. But I'm like, I keep on surviving, Vinaya. So I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
meant to be here.
you are for sure. Wow, that's wild. So through all this, how does your idea of God's spirit or the unseen change through these experiences? Like, you've had many.
Yeah. I think that it really made me believe more that there's a purpose beyond this life.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't think that I would still be here, if there wasn't something I was meant to do.
Right.
And so that really made me believe that I already believed in God, but just believing in like another force out there and something bigger than ourselves. And something, it also put a lot of things into perspective for me. And I think that's also when I mentioned about being emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things now where I go, hey, it's not lung surgery. So it's not as bad, right? You
Right.
have like these different perspectives that some people just don't have. And it's, it's bigger than us. It
Yes.
really is. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay. So let's talk about like your signs, guidance, intuition, all that stuff. So during your hardest seasons, did you notice signs, synchronicities, or moments that felt like reassurance? What was happening during those times for you?
Yeah, I think for me, and I don't know if you get this too, but whenever I feel like my mom around, especially, I'll hear like the songs that she loved to sing, or like I'll wake up in the morning and I have like one of her songs that I start singing, and I'm like, where
Yeah.
did that come from?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I really needed like that extra little
Yeah.
push, and also to a lot of times when I feel where I'm just like, I don't know, like when I got cancer just a couple years ago, and I was like, we didn't know if it had gone into any of the lymph nodes because part of it had invaded the vascular system. So they were talking to me about, well, we might have to take out all of your lymph nodes, you might have to do radiation, you might have to do chemo and all this type of stuff. And I was so scared, and I thought, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. I don't really know how I'm going to get through this. And it's like the amount of support and love that I received from so many people that they're just like, we're here for you. We don't want to lose you. And, you know, even though that's not necessarily what you would consider spiritual,
Right.
it was that community
Yeah.
that of people that were like, we are here.
Yeah.
We're here for you, because I'm not good at asking. I was never good at asking for help. And cancer really changed that for me, where I realized you have to ask for help. People can always say no.
Yes. Amen. I
Yeah.
loved it. How do you personally recognize intuition versus fear? Let's teach
Mm,
that.
that's good. So for me, it's different feelings in my body.
Mm.
So fear, a lot of times for me, is a little bit more of like in my gut area, a little bit,
Yeah.
and my intuition feels like it's more in my heart area when
Mm.
things hit me. And there's certain things too where I'm like if I get triggered on something, because we all have triggers that we work on, right? And a lot of times it's a fear trigger. And I've learned now to go, okay, what's really going on? Am I picking up something, or is this my mind going bloop, 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 bloop? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I think a lot of times if I can look at it objectively, I can pick it apart. too and go, okay, this is fear. This is fear
Mm.
talking. And I tell my clients that fear is still something good because it tells us what we care about. It tells us what we're being tried to be protected from. And I give them a visualization where they picture their fear as like an actual physical being. And they walk up to it and they go, thank you so much. I see you, but I'm going to walk past you. And I really, really appreciate all of the protection you gave me and the care.
Mm.
But I'm going to go that way. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes.
And you step forward and go past the fear. And the fear will let you go because that's ultimately, it's just there because it wants to protect you and make you think of things and make you uh, make sure that you are not stepping into something you're not prepared for, that type of thing.
Yes. I teach the same. Think it and let it go. Acknowledge, think it, let it go.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep.
Big part of healing. Big part of healing.
Mhm.
Um, do you trust what comes through you more now than you used to?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And it's
Right.
just, and it's so weird because I remember when I first started doing tarot, because I did tarot for friends and family.
Yes.
When I first started doing it on TikTok and stuff, and I was like, I don't know if people are going to like this or whatever. I don't even know how good I am, right? Because I was like, I don't know, like the writing thing. And once I started doing it and I realized like my accuracy rate, and I was like, okay, I'm
Yep.
listening. I'm
Right.
listening. Once again, like Tracy.
So bending. We are like this, like literally. Feel you. Oh
Yep.
yeah. Same thing. It took me probably like 3 years to finally hit the live button and to lose everything. I was slowly like, God was like, okay,
No.
we're taking this, and that. Are you gonna? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Jax. Um, do you feel? Do you feel your parents' presence obviously all the time, right?
Yeah.
Is it subtle? Is it symbolic? You said your mom comes through. Does your dad come through for you too? Is it part of your journey? Are they part of your team now? How is that going? How is that?
Yeah, so I have when I go and I meditate, I actually have a place called Tracy Land.
Mm.
And that's where my heart temple is. That's where my guides are. That's where my parents
Wow.
are, and that type of thing, which is really fun.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this thing that my parents really helped me do. So when I published my first book, I wanted to form my own publishing company because I wanted to. My agent couldn't get it sold. I was like, I'm going to publish it, but I couldn't think of the name. And I was like, I want to honor my parents. I'm not sure what to do. And so I went and I meditated, and I was in this like dark forest, and my dad was there with me, and the sun like rose, and through the trees walked my mom.
Mm.
And they didn't get along in the end, right? But I felt like the love for them that they had, and they came together and they put their hands on mine, and all of a sudden it was like it was when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and with my little hands and stuff. And I said, I don't know what to name the publishing company. And my mom looked at my dad, and he goes over to this fire, and he builds this fire, and he starts pulling pieces of the night into the fire until it's filled with twilight,
Oh.
and it starts sparking up. And so it's part of my mom and part of my dad. And it's like these beautiful pieces of twilight that are mixed with the light still. And that's how I got Twilight Sparks Press.
I love that. I love you, girl. I love that. So cool. Um, okay. Does writing feel like a spiritual practice for you now?
Yeah, I think so. In a lot of ways, I think it's very healing for me.
Yeah.
You know, writing about some of the stuff and crying about it and working through it, really, I think is so just positive. And I tell people that too. When we're writing stuff to bring light to other people, we're bringing the light to ourselves when we write it
Mm,
too, right?
agreed. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm a big believer in writing. I didn't really think I was ever an author, but I always wrote. I always, even when I was little, I just always was constantly writing feelings, just writing. Totally agree with that. Um, were there times when were there times when your faith was tested or reshaped? And how
Uh,
did you work through those?
I think when my cancer kept coming back, I was like, should I should I just throw in the towel? You're like, why am I fighting
Right.
anymore? I'm like, oh, what's going on? What's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
I was like, ah. And I think, kind of working through that and realizing that even if it seemed like things were the way they were, um, that, I had to work through it. And it did, a lot of lightness did come out, of it. But I remember when I first got diagnosed and then I lost my job and then my mom died, I just remember thinking, I can't take anymore. I can't take anymore. And I didn't even know what type of cancer I had at that point or how bleak my survival was. I just, I was like, why me?
Yeah.
Why me? And I think that one of the most healthy things that we can do when we go through these things is give yourself the grace to have those why me moments, to get angry, to get upset, to feel like it's unfair, to want to not have whatever you have, whatever's going on.
Yeah.
And then you pull yourself out of it, but let yourself do it, because if you don't, if you cover it up, you can't move forward effectively. And a lot of people try to like, it's fine, everything's fine. Like you have to, it's okay for you to feel like this is not fine.
Right. Yes. Agreed. Do you think that's how you were able to keep your heart so open and not close it? Because, yeah.
I think so. Because I allowed myself to go, you know, no one should have to do this. Why do I have to do this? And just be able to go, all right. And then go, okay, I'm putting on my big girl pants again. We're going out there because we're not giving up yet.
Right.
We're not giving up.
Yeah. Love that. Okay. So what has trust taught you about living rather than controlling life? The whole control word and surrendering.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that writing and my whole writing journey has taught me is that um, sometimes you just have to trust that you are going to get to where you need to go without mapping everything out.
Mm.
Because oftentimes, and we all do this, when I do X, Y, and Z, then I'm going to get over here. And it's going to happen this way if I do all these things.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's like to get you to where you need to go. Same thing with my writing journey itself. Like I would have never expected some of the things to have happened to me the way they happened. And if I would have mapped it all out, I would have never gotten there. So I think there's certain things that you need to like trust the outcome and work for it, but release the control of how you get to your goal.
Yes.
Let the universe guide you. Still do the work. I'm not one of those people that say, I just sat back and I manifested everything. Yeah. That's not me.
Yeah.
You have to actually show the universe, I'm serious, I'm moving forward, I'm taking steps, I'm putting myself out there, and the universe will help you.
Yep. Agree.
Mm-hmm.
So where is your passion? Is your passion in the soul work or is it in the creative work? Do you have a favorite or does it kind of just all like come together? Do you mentor in spirituality too, or is it just for writers?
So it's just been for writers for right now. But the thing that I was so surprised once I started doing tarot for people like other than people that love me, when I started doing tarot for like real people,
Right.
it was so amazing how many people were like, oh my God, you were so right on this, or you connected with this, or now you've given me the strength to leave my husband because it's been an abusive relationship for this long, and all these things that like I had no idea. And so I really do feel that like I would love to eventually help people on the spiritual side as well, to open up to like and some of the things that I've kind of done and experienced, because I think that it might just be that I haven't envisioned it yet for it to happen, but I think it will happen as things start to expand. And I would love to do like some different things that are related to writing along with like the spiritual piece of it, so that people can use it to to envision and come up with projections of stuff in order to help them pull that out for their writing.
Yes, I love that. That so it's kind of like I was going to talk about their inner voice. It's kind of like bringing their inner voice out, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. And I think also too, sometimes people, if they can visualize something and kind of put it in a physical sense in their mind, a lot of times they can process it a little bit easier and pull things out. Like I even talked to one of my clients about picturing a story river with like all these stories floating within the river. And I said, you're walking up to it, and I took them through this meditation visualization. I said, you reach in and you pull out something. What'd you pull out?
Hmm.
And you start to like really get into the like what is sitting inside of them that they need to say.
That they need to say. Yeah, I love that. Um, so let's talk a little bit about of integration and embodiment. How do you stay spiritually grounded while still living in this real world? What are some of your practices?
That's hard, isn't it?
Especially lately, man. This past year.
I know it's like, I keep on having friends outside of the country. They're like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Not to get into any of that, but yeah. Oh my God.
Right.
But anyways, I think that one of the things that I try to do is to make sure that I'm keeping myself grounded. And make sure that I'm really kind of honoring what brings me joy and what lights me up. And this year I'm really focusing on letting go of all the things that aren't serving me, because I'm an overgiver. I always overgive. And there's a lot of people I've given to that are just take.
Yes.
And I kept on thinking it would change, and it didn't. And I've got to realize it doesn't make them bad. It just makes it not an equal relationship for me to stay in.
Yes.
Friendships, jobs, that type of thing. And so I really want to get rid of some of that excess like spiritual weight that I've been carrying. I also make sure to do this is just me, but I always picture that I have these like these little plug-in electrical cords in my aura that people are sucking energy off of. And so I make sure to go in and remove those.
Yeah.
And just take those out after a while.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
It's hard though, because I feel like we may have started around. I started like last Thanksgiving, as I was battling before in the streets of TikTok, and then I finally, Spirit's like, let's go. I hit the live button, and I was doing the same thing. It's just so hard starting off to really hold those boundaries, because you want to help everybody, but you just physically, energetically cannot. So
yeah. And I had to really get good on that, because I would have so many people that would message me privately. Can you pick up the energy on what's going on with me and my husband? Can you blah, blah, blah. And I immediately wanted to go, oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on a second. Hold
Yeah.
on. I gotta have some boundaries of myself. I can't be available. I can't be an all energy buffet.
Yes. I call it pocket angel. I love that. An energy buffet. I love that.
I like pocket angel. I'm like, I can't be your pocket angel. No, take me out. Take me out.
Yes. It's so hard.
Yeah.
So what daily practices help you stay connected without becoming overwhelmed? What do you do? Like teach some people some other, what do you do? How do you ground? How do you cleanse? Like, what are some of the things that you do?
Yeah. So for the grounding, what I like to do is I always picture, and you can picture anything you want, but I always picture, because I love trees and stuff, like a big tree trunk type of a thing. So wherever I'm sitting, there's like this big tree trunk that I picture that comes out from where I'm sitting, and the roots tunnel down through the earth and go to the core, and they pick up all the earth energy and they bring it on up, all warm earth energy, through my legs, going up to my legs. And then I always picture the source energy as being like this beautiful night sky, and this like silvery type energy kind of coming down and through my head. And I mix the two together. And I always decide on what the percentage is. So do I need more source? Do I need more earth energy? Which do I need today?
Yeah.
Mix it all up, and then I run it all through up my chakras.
I love that.
Cleanse and cleanse and cleanse and clear and clear and clear, and kind of, go through it. And I can feel like stuff like falling away and unfolding and that type of thing. So that's always like, and you can do it really quick too.
Yeah, I love that. So when you kind of getting back to like your energy work that you did, was it Reiki? Was it shaman? What did, yeah, I love that too, Mina. That was pretty cool. What did you do?
So I worked with an energy coach, and I don't know if he was. I never knew if there was like a title to it.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like somebody I knew who was a writer, and he did
Oh,
energy stuff. And so I was like, so I originally went to him because I said, you know what? I said I feel like my masculine and feminine energy is off. It's not balanced.
right.
So he worked with me on it, and when he started working with me on it, we realized that wasn't it. There was other things that I was holding on to from my past that I hadn't let go,
Yeah.
that was blocking me. And so as we went through it and he ran through, that's where I met my guides for the first time. That's where, and the weirdest thing is like, he had me give my first guide a coin. And when she took it, he felt it. And I was like, because he goes, before I even said it, he's like, I felt that. And I was like, whoa! It was like, it's like, so, and once we started going through, and there were certain parts that, like, from my past that I've been holding on to and not letting go. And each thing that I resolved revealed another one of my guides. So I also have a tree that's one of my guides that has been with me.
That is so cool. That's so, so cool. So talking about like your masculine and feminine and being obviously like, we all have to balance. I teach that too. What does alignment feel like in your body? What does it feel to be embodied and carry the light? Like what does it feel like? How do you feel?
So I feel when I'm really imbalanced and stuff, in balance, I feel so calm. And what I love is that I don't feel like I have to sacrifice one for the other. A lot of times in our lives as women, right, we feel like we have to either be like extremely masculine or extremely feminine or whatever. And I realize that there's that power in having that combination of masculine and feminine together, because you can still be a strong, powerful woman that puts out light. You don't have to be somebody who's aggressive, somebody who's this or that. You can be all those things, but I think that we're often taught that we have to be one or the other, and it's really different layers together of that energy. I think that makes us complete and more whole as people. And I think guys have this too. A lot of times the feminine energy in them is their compassion and their kindness and things that necessarily they don't want to be called feminine, right? A lot of guys, but it's that mixture. And when things are really in balance, I just feel like very confident and strong. Like I don't doubt my word. I don't doubt what I'm saying. I don't doubt my intention. Do I do everything right? No, but I know that I'm coming from a good place.
Yeah.
And that is half the battle, because even if I mess up, as long as I know that I can look at myself in the mirror and go, I acted with integrity.
Yes. So let's talk to like spiritual people who have 9-to-5s, who aren't in alignment, who are battling that. Like, what are some things that you do, like for you to be able to get back into your alignment and be able to show up? Do you know what I mean? Like on a bad day, take us through a bad day. What do you do?
Yeah, so I think for me, one of the main things, and I did this before I had a client meeting where I knew that the client was really obnoxious, is not only did I ground myself, but I also puffed out my aura. So I think a lot of times we don't think about that energy around us. And so there's a couple things I do. I sometimes when I'm really stressed, my aura is like really tight. And I have to kind of push it out a little bit. But I also do this thing where, and my energy coach taught me this, is I have a ring of roses around the outside of my aura. And all of the junk and crap that people throw at you chars the roses, but doesn't hit my aura.
Yes.
And then I clear out the roses and I put the new ones out. And I'll do that at work sometimes.
Yeah.
It just take a few minutes, it takes about a minute, and then you just like, and you feel like, okay, I can handle this.
You can do it. Yeah. I've seen a couple places, read a couple places, and I'm kind of like, so I was conflicted in the beginning and I started teaching it where if you're feeling like you're carrying the load, because us light workers, right? Sometimes God and universe sends us the energy of everybody around us and someone on the other side of the country to, take care of, right?
Yeah.
So it's half the time it's not even our energy. Do you ever feel like you have to like pull in your aura so that way you can just sit with yourself, or do you puff it out like you said to clear it? What have you ever heard of that
I
technique or
haven't
no?
heard of that,
No?
but I find that usually for me, puffing out my aura some more um, ends up giving me more space so that the other person's energy can't get as close in to me, so that I don't absorb it.
Yeah,
And but the other thing is that the cord thing that I was mentioning,
yeah, yeah,
a lot of times, and it could just be even people I love too. It's just I'm too attached right now, and they're just taking energy, and being able to just unplug it gives me that little bit of a breather. They might plug in again later on, especially if they're
right.
people I love and family and stuff.
Yes,
But
yes.
you can kind of let some of that go and get rid of it and kind of clear it out and stuff like that. Because I have a lot of friends who are empaths and they struggle all the time.
Yeah, me too. I'm a big empath, and a lot of us in my community are too. But I love that you said that because I try and tell people too the same thing. Like you can disconnect from your person, you can disconnect from your child, you can disconnect from the people who are like taking from you right now, even if it's for 5 minutes, an hour, 30 seconds. It doesn't mean that you're completely shutting them out, because a lot of people get mad at me and like I've gotten yelled at for this before. I'm like, it doesn't mean that like you're cutting the cord. We're not cutting cords here. You know what I mean? You're just like taking a step back to breathe. So I love that you said that. I love
Yeah,
that because it's not like you're shutting the door on them.
exactly. Exactly. You're just taking a little breather. It's like if you
Yeah.
go outside for some air,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yes, yes. Okay. All right. We're going to do a little rapid fire.
Okay.
Um,
23.
are we doing lotto numbers? Everyone comes in there. It's like, do you have the lot in my lives? Do they do that to you? Do you have the lotto numbers? I'm like, if I had
Yeah.
them, I wouldn't be sitting here live with you, buddy. I'd be on the freaking jet somewhere on the in the tropics. Okay. What's your morning ritual or a quiet moment for you? What do you do in a morning in the
Uh,
morning?
yeah. So in the morning, my special quiet moment is when I have tea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Silence or music?
Um, Silence when I'm writing, music when I'm editing.
Hmm. Prayer, meditation, or conversation with spirit?
Meditation.
Sign you notice most often?
I think lights flickering.
Hmm. That's sometimes like spirits, and it's like your own vibration. Did you ever hear that?
Yeah, I've heard that
Yeah.
too. That and one of the things like for people who investigate like paranormal stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
they talk about how our own energy fields
Yes.
affect a lot of the equipment that they use. So a lot of that stuff gets debunked because
Yep.
we give out that
We
stuff.
gave out. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I didn't know that till about a year ago. Anyways,
Yeah.
okay, sorry. I squirrel a lot.
That's good.
A moment you knew you weren't alone.
Um, I think when I got cancer, and I really felt like even though as bad as it was, I had people.
Writing by candlelight or daylight?
Daylight.
Intuition speaks through your body or through your thoughts?
I want to say mostly through my body.
Same. I
Yeah.
always feel before I see. It's weird,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you, yeah. Faith strengthened or reshaped?
Reshaped.
One word that describes your spiritual path now.
I'm gonna say amazing.
Hmm, I love that. A truth you return to when things feel heavy.
Um, where there's life, there's hope.
Hmm, good one. Um, a place you feel closest to spirit.
I know it's gonna sound weird, but there's a beach in Camino Island where I do my writer's retreat, and whenever I'm there, I feel very, very close to spirit.
Yeah. Oh, water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, do you believe love survives death?
Yes.
What grounds you fastest?
I think perspective.
Hmm. Surrender or trust?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right?
I'm going to say trust.
Yeah, I like that too. Okay.
Yeah.
What does connection mean in one word?
Love.
Mm-hmm. We're sisters. We were sisters at some point. Some life. We were
Some
together.
lifetime
Right.
we were
We were. How about some books? What do you suggest? Anybody who wants to start writing or wants to start their spiritual journey or in the middle, what do you give them some books or yeah.
Yeah. So I think, one of the things that I will say first off is whether or not somebody is a book person. Okay. Because I find some people, they're actually better at a writing class
Mm.
than they are reading a book about writing. Because sometimes they'll read a book about writing and they don't execute.
Mm-hmm.
So for writing books in general, there's a bunch of different ones. But one of the ones I would recommend is The Writer's Journey. And what it is it's based on the hero's journey,
Mm.
about how ancient myths and stories are set up, and all the different points that you hit within a story in order for it to be satisfying. And if you look at things like Star Wars and tons of different movies, they all follow it. And so it's really fascinating. And that's a great way to learn when you first start out. Doesn't mean you have to use it all,
Right.
but like somebody's ordinary world, and then there's a call to adventure, and then there's a mentor, and then there's the first descent into la 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 there, and then there's a shapeshifter figure, then there's and it all like tracks, and that helps you figure out like story design, and then you can take it and use it and stuff. So I think it's good. As in for spiritual stuff, I have to admit I haven't really utilized spiritual books. I've done most of it through like teachers that I've had, and coaches I've had and that type of thing.
Yeah. How about
Yeah.
speakers? Do you listen to any like podcasts or mentor like Joe Dispenza was big for me when I came up. So anything like that through your journey? Do you
I haven't. I find that it's so weird. Like when I need something, it seems to like come through my feed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like weird. And then all of a sudden I'll see something and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is really like, oh, this really connects here and there. And so it's really fascinating. There's this one psychologist that I follow now on Instagram, and it's all about like the different things that happen with body language and micro expressions and things about whether or not there's attraction or limerence or other things like that. And it's like really interesting to use in my stories, but it's also a thing about human connection. And so it's really, I don't know, it's fascinating. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'm done with how do people get a hold of you? Do you do private readings? What are your services? How do people get a hold of you?
Yeah. So, so for people who want the tarot stuff, they can direct message me. I'm trying to look at now that actually people are like, we want, I'm getting more and more readings, or I'm like, oh my God, I got to figure out like a service to put them on. So that's what I'm working on right now. But they can DM me, and I can do specifics for them, or just like a basic overall. And stuff, so they can contact me for that. And then for my books, is it okay to show my first book?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So this is my first book. This is Entwine. So, and that's the first of a trilogy. So you cannot get mad at me when you get sucked in, because the other two are done and on there, but they're on Amazon and online retailers everywhere and stuff. And so, so those you can check out. And then if you're in the US, I do have books in stock. If you want one signed, I can do that and mail it to you. It's only like $6 shipping. So you can just contact me for that too.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to add that I haven't asked?
I would think, I think we covered, you had some great questions, I have to say, which is really good. But I would just say for anybody who comes across this, you came across this for a reason, wherever this is posted, wherever you see it. Most of the time when that happens, it's because you need a little push, whether or not it's to explore your spiritual side or to explore your writer side or potentially both. And the main thing that I want to say is that we often are our own worst enemy, and we will stand in our path and not let ourselves move forward. And we're so much stronger than we think. And sometimes we just need someone to believe in us. And I want everybody else to know out there that I believe in you. You can do this, whatever it is.
I love that. Love that. Anyone have any questions for our beautiful Tracey? Do you guys have any questions for her?
They're probably like, you covered everything.
I tried.
You actually were really, really prepared. I was like, I'm really impressed.
Thanks.
Sometimes I've gone on things and they're just like, well, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah. No. I wouldn't do that to you or me.
I appreciate
This has to be successful.
Yes,
I'm a Virgo. I'm very I've calmed down a lot though. I got really sick too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a Virgo. Yeah.
Yep.
I got sick. Same kind of, I'll just briefly tell you my story. I got sick in 2020. Virgo and me, I was go. I saw my first spirit when I was 12. My grandfather died and he was the first one that came to me. Ignored it. Of course, runner, went through a whole shit ton of trauma. 2020, I got really sick. I was single mom of 4, go all the time. I had a routine, Virgo brain, OCD. I dropped the kids off a certain time, came home, did what I had to do. All my laundry was done. The house was clean before I even hit the field. One day I couldn't get out of bed. I just literally could not. My legs didn't move. My back was stiff. I could not move. So everybody thought at that point, because my whole life has been a piece of shit, that I had just gone back shit crazy, right? But I knew my body was wrong. Something happened to me. Do you know what I mean? So test after test after test. I actually have a very rare genetic autoimmune disease and autoinflammatory disease nobody could figure out. So I went and did the whole Reiki thing, went holistic, healed myself, got better. Same story kind of like you. Like they look at me, I should be in a wheelchair. My bones should be crippled. My organs should have shut down by now. And they just look at me like, you're walking and
what's going on?
You've aged backwards. Like, I don't even know, like people don't even know who I am anymore. But I had a near-death experience, almost died in 2022. So I kind of, I'm at the point right now where I'm not so OCD anymore, but I live life with a purpose. Like I'm not showing up half-assed. I would never put you through that or me through that. Do you know what I mean? Like everything has to have a purpose. So I hope that we can get this out there to as many people as possible. I hope I get as many people to follow you and come to you. We're going to put it on Spotify. It's going to be on Apple Podcasts. Probably, I haven't really told anybody yet, but beginning of spring. So I'll definitely let you know when it comes out. Yeah.
Well, no, and I really appreciate this opportunity and stuff to share and to maybe reach some other people because, ultimately I always tell people, yes, do we want more followers? Do we want, have a robust broadcast? Do we want to be successful? Yeah. But ultimately, like you and I, we want to help other people.
Yeah.
And the way we help them is by them reaching us.
Yes.
And so that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I had a good time.
Me too.
Yes.
All right. I love you, girl. Thank you.
Right.
I'll see you in the streets. All right.
Should I just leave your live then? Is that?
Yeah. Maybe we could just do, I don't know if you're down, maybe we could set up side by side, you on your platform, me on mine, and do some readings and stuff like that for the audience, for people.
That would be fun. If we did when you do the co-host match thing, when I have my live and you have your live, and then we could do that. Yeah, we should.
We should. All right.
Yeah, that'd be so much fun.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
Sounds
thanks
good.
everyone.
Bye, honey.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, guys. I wasn't going to do any readings, but do you guys, are you good? Do you need energy checks? I didn't even pray or do anything like that. Are we good? Or does anybody really, really need me? Are you good? Okay. I'm actually going home today. So, are you good, Lisa? Okay. Did you like her? I love her. You guys got to follow her. She is amazing. Sometimes I scroll, I'll, even like in the beginning of my journey, I just go and it's not like I troll them, but I go specifically to spiritual people and I kind of just like check them out and check out their energy. And immediately when I came across her and Star Child Official, which we got to get her back on here, and Darren too, like immediately, like I was just drawn. You guys got to watch her. I approve her messages. Yes. I approve, like I've watched her readings. She's very authentic. She's good. So definitely follow her, check her out. But I'm going to jump off then. If you guys are good, I'm going to jump off and I'll be home today. I'll be going home today. So you liked her? You followed her? For what, love? An energy check? I haven't blessed the space. I didn't even clear the air. Do you really need one? We can pray real quick. You don't have to be sorry. You too, Polly. Love you, girl. Are you sure? Like, I totally packed all my shit. Are you sure? Okay. I would have done it for you, Crystal. You good? Okay. The girls are going to be home again. You too. Is it Mina? Am I saying that right? You too. Thank you for coming. Okay, you're welcome. All right, I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the taps, the shares, all of the above. And I'll see you sometime today. But we got to get back on. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. We got to get back to self-love. We got to finish this up. Sweet dreams. See you in the astral. I love you guys. I'll see you later, okay? Bye.